Hi everybody, it's been quite a long time and I apologize for that. Mostly, it's just been a lot of seasonal stuff recently, and I just haven't had the energy to make a video. I have a strong suspicion that that will change in the new year, starting with this video. Personally, the top 10 lists are some of my favorite content to make, and I've made quite a few of them. This will be the 5th one and 4th year doing it, and I gotta say, this is one of the best years, if not the best year for me, collecting-wise. I got my first MAFEXs, my first funded HasLab. I got a lot of older figures this year too. I keep looking here, it's because I have all 10 of them sprouted out right here. Warning is, it's not really 10 figures, it is 13. I just felt like I had to sprinkle some extras in there where I could, so hopefully that doesn't break the rules. Enough talk, let's just get into the number 10 spot, which is the Marvel 60th Hawkeye and the Target exclusive Ant-Man. I was really rooting for a comic classic styled Ant-Man, and I know this is technically Scott Lang, but it's Hank Pym in my eyes, and it's Ant-Man on my shelf, so deal with it. Overall, I really enjoyed this figure. I love taking the photos I took of him. Just a lot of really great stuff with this figure. He came with fists and open hands. No grips, sadly, so you can't have him like holding a beaker or whatever in photography if you do that stuff. But it is still nonetheless a very fun and articulated figure. The head sculpt is absolutely fantastic. One complaint is the lack of accessories. It would have been cool for him to have maybe an extra Hank Pym head sculpt, or some ants, or maybe a mini Ant-Man. That would have really made this figure pop out way more in my opinion, but as is, still an amazingly fun figure from an amazing toy line this year. And sharing the number 10 spot with Ant-Man is of course the 60th Hawkeye. I did a review, a more modern review on him if you want to go check that out. It's actually personally one of my favorites. Everything of this figure really screams just amazing. You got the pinless joints, all of the bands are separate pieces, which helps with the painting, and they're snug on the arms, and well, that's the only place they're really there on. But they're snug, and they don't like to jostle around like the older ones did. The head sculpt is absolutely perfect. I really love the poses you can get with this guy with that bow and arrow. And the only thing that's really not classic, or kind of more modern, is the quiver, which is kind of odd. It is reuse from the 2012 Hawkeye, I believe, but or 2015, can't remember which one now, but it's kind of just more modernized, which is odd compared to all of this classic-y Avengers-y goodness, which I, for one, always love. I love this figure, and I love Ant-Man, and I can't stop gushing. He also came with the Sky Cycle, so that was pretty cool. So, yeah. Those are the number 10 spot. Sure, number 9 spot will not appreciate only being at number 9, but we do have the MAFEX Homelander. It was my second ever MAFEX figure, and boy oh boy, it did not disappoint. Love all the hand options he came with. I love the alternate little chest piece where it's unbuttoned or unzipped or whatever. You have the extremely well done laser eye head and stern expression head. Wired cape adds a lot of dynamic posability to this figure, especially in flight poses or in action poses. And it's actually made out of this kind of waterproofy flag material, unlike the other MAFEX that I got this year. The only real complaints I have is the shoulder birds really get in the way of his articulation. I mean, they really severely hinder it in a lot of poses that I would like to do for this character. And another thing is the chest plate, whatever plate you have on, really likes to fall off, so that does kind of get in the way of the enjoyment of posing the figure. Overall, it's a great addition to my collection. I love it nonetheless. The sculpting and the detail and the articulation in this thing is absurd, and overall, I'm very happy I was able to pick this up. So our number 8 pick is something that is quite new, but very, very bold and, in my opinion, amazing. And it is on an older mold, but it doesn't make the Transformers Legacy Evolution nacelle any less special. You can see I kind of stole Jaxxus's big fucking gun and gave it to him just because this figure really exudes power. I'll save the lot of my praises for this figure for the review, but seriously, this figure is amazing. Forgot what the Siege Seeker mold was like, and having it back in my hands after all this time really brings joy to my heart. What makes it even better is that it's a fucking nobody. Go up to a random person and they're not even gonna know who or what a nacelle is. This was a mass market toy on Amazon. A BotCon reference. Not only that, but he is just absurdly fun to mess with and pose. Siege Seeker mold really just feels like an action figure that happens to transform. And for those reasons, I had to put him at number 8. So at number 7 we have an oldie but a goodie. Yes, an oldie. This thing is almost 4 years old now. Studio Series 44 Dark of the Moon Prime. I've really been meaning to get this guy behind the camera for a full review, but I just haven't had it in me recently. In the making of this top 10 video, I really reconnected with this figure and it really just spoke to me. Now it did go down a few notches from where it originally was, but that's no knock on the figure, that just speaks to the praises of the figures coming up. From the amazing handheld weapons, the blaster, his 2 big guns, and of course the jetpack. If you can find this figure for a very good price, and I mean a very good price, I'd say go for it. I'd put my money on this. That's why he's at number 7.
Meow.
Number 6 is another twofer, and for this one we have a double team of No Way Home Green Goblin and the No Way Home Tobey Maguire. Talking about Goblin first, I really just love how this figure oozes Willem Dafoe energy. I mean, the head sculpt is immaculate, the mask head is a very nice touch, and I really appreciate that. I already lost the hood and the goggles, somehow, I don't know where they are. And in almost any pose, he looks amazing and chews the scenery. The only major problem I really have is kind of the articulation. And not just the articulation like they could have added a boot swivel, which everybody knows by now they definitely should have, but the articulation of the glider is also very finicky and fidgety and very annoying at times. That's all to say he's still a fantastic, amazing feeling and looking figure with not a lot of major issues. Now for Tobey, he is about the same. I really don't understand why people hate this figure so much. I did mod the neck so he could look up further because this figure couldn't look up for shit. Something I really have an issue with though is why they only gave him 1 fist and 1 open hand. I appreciate the Tobey Maguire head sculpt and it looks really great for the most part, but I would have taken the extra hands over that head sculpt any day. Why don't you just buy the 3-pack? Are you gonna spend $50 on 1 Tobey Maguire when you could get this for like $25 at GameStop? No, I didn't think so. Anyway, these two absolutely look amazing together as well, and that really bumped both of them up to the number 6 spot. Have the 4 Horsemen Headless Horsemen figure at the number 5 spot, which it's been a holy grail of mine ever since it was revealed last year sometime, and or 2021. No, it was 2022. Anyway, this figure has been a long time coming to me in my collection, and I couldn't have been more happy with it. It's so fun. The word is just fun. The horse is a pretty good horse figure as far as animals go, but the actual Headless Horseman aspect of it really just pushes everything above and beyond. I love the flame that it comes with. I don't have it on him right now just for display purposes, but it does look amazing. You got the flaming eye head, which is also amazing. You got the regular head, and he has a whole other hand where you can put any extra head on, and a neck flesh cap that goes in. That's so ingenuitive and so clever. It's so fun, and that's really what this figure comes down to. For me, personally, it's just fun, and I couldn't have it any other way, and that is why he is number 5. The detail, the fun aspect, the articulation, he just fits in with everything and looks good doing it, and can't complain about a good figure.
For the love of God, please! Damn! Damn!
So deciding on number 4 wasn't that easy this year, but I decided to give it to Legacy Dragon Megatron. One of the first figures I got this year, and one of the best figures I got this year, obviously. It's in the top 5, mostly just because of the Dragon mode. The Dragon mode pulls a lot of weight on this figure. I mean, the Robot mode isn't awful, but it is kind of awkward and hard to work with, but he still looks amazing next to the other Predacons. I found a place for him on my Predacon shelf that kind of makes sense, so he's not just in a box or on the floor somewhere. The figure just has an ultimate presence to him that really, it just feels, it makes you feel something. This figure is just so big and beefy and colorful. It is very colorful. I love the wings that are translucent. I love the articulation in the neck, at least in Dragon mode and Robot mode. That articulation is awful. Another complaint is I kind of wish the ponytail, and by extension the dragon tail, was longer. I know there's a third-party upgrade kit to make it longer, but I'm not spending the money I spent to get a Legacy Megatron just to go turn around and buy an upgrade kit. No thank you. But all those reasons are why he is number 4.
Why? Just why? My fucking day is ruined.
Number 3 should come to no surprise to many who know me and have watched my videos, but number 3 is the MAFEX Cyborg Superman. The moment I saw solicitations for this figure, I knew I had to have it in my hands, and I actually was able to get one. I went to a toy show called Retromania, and a booth there had this figure, and I thought, you know what? First MAFEX, why not? I mean, it is truly one of the best just fun factor figures you could ever have. I love the alternate arms and the hands. Cape flow's really nice. It's big. It's a little too big in my opinion, but it is very nice. The silver has an amazing black wash and line detail in it. Metallic red for the eye and the chin really pop in a lot of lighting. The stoic side of the human face is just so creepy. Honestly, you'd be hard-pressed to find any figure that moves this fluently and with this much animation and spunk. This thing, if you get it, will knock your socks off and it'll rock your cocks off, and what more do you want from a figure? And that's why he's number 3.
Shut up! I'm so fucking scared right now, you shut up!
Oh, and for number 2, I'm cheating again. It is the Transformers Legacy Evolution animated Prowl and the Transformers Legacy United animated Bumblebee. Now this is a very, very late edition, so I'll talk about him first. This figure is honestly so full of life, so funky in a great way, funky in the best way possible. I mean, he can get acrobatic poses, he's very small, so he feels agile almost. I really love the stingers he comes with. He got the jet packs that he used in the show a few times. It just really feels amazingly Bumblebee. I love the head sculpt, and the body is just amazingly articulated, and I couldn't ask for a better animated style Bumblebee. Now, animated Prowl is very slick and very nimble. He articulates incredibly well. The bike mode does suffer a little bit, but that's minor issues. I don't think I had ever had this much fun I don't think before this figure I had ever had this much fun with a Transformer, and wow, I couldn't put this thing down for like a month after I got it. It was just so appealing. All that nonsense just to say I like that they're making new toys of the cartoon show I like. Yep. And before I get into my number one spot, I did want to give you a little slideshow, however you want to say it, of the honorable mentions this year, because there were quite a few of amazingly great figures that I wasn't able to fit on this list that I thought might have deserved a spot on the list. A lot of figures that I picked up a very long time ago and have lost. A lot of really great Decepticon figures. Of course, the Decepticon Deluxes, I have to give a shout out to them. Rounding off the Insecticons, and I revealed a bombshell, so that was pretty cool of an experience. Also really love Needlenose. That Nerd Isaac got me Needlenose this year. If you don't know him, subscribe to him, please. Core Class Dinobots, most of them I wasn't planning on getting, but I got anyway. Started with Swoop, and then I got the rest. I almost have a complete Volcanicus, I'm just missing two. Earthrise Cliff Jumper was one that I really enjoyed this year a lot, but I decided to kick him out of the list just because I already put him in my top 10 list of 2020, because I just thought he's not, new. I feel like a new mold and a new figure deserves to be on this list, so, and that's why I booted him out. I really love Sound Blaster this year. That was a very good core class figure in my opinion. Some really good G.I. Joe figures. G.I. Joe shelf really popped off this year in a big way. Leo Convoy does deserve very much to be on this list. I think that's pretty much it. So I hope the slideshow's over. And enough rambling, let's get into I gotta do it, man. To nobody's surprise, the number one pick of 2023 for me is the HasLab Death Saurus. This thing is absolutely majestic looking. The quality is on point. I don't feel like anything's too tight or too loose. This thing is pure quality, and I'm glad I waited a year for it if it's this good. His size, the mace, his sword, his throne, everything about this figure wowed me this year, and it just blew me away. Legitimately, I think this figure single-handedly revamped my love for collecting this month, and without it, I probably wouldn't be making this video right now. Love the chrome, all of his accessories as previously mentioned, and of course, the articulation. It's nice, solid, and tight, but it's not fragile. It's a very good quality of figure, and if you're somehow able to get one, please do. I know this is like the most unrelatable list of all time, but this Deathsaurus really just made me realize how much I love Transformers. I mean, I'm smiling like a dumbass just talking about it. Really beautiful piece of plastic here, and so glad to have it. It'll go in its own place and be admired every day, because what a beautiful thing this is. I love the chicken mode too. The chicken mode is perfect. Let's wrap this up.
Might want to lay off the weed, huh?
And you might want to gargle my ball sack.
So overall for this year, I'd say this is an amazing year for collecting. If you weren't collecting any of this year, you're really missing out. This is the best collecting year I've ever had. This is seriously such a good spread of figures in my opinion. I really don't have anything to say about them besides they're just good. They're good representations of what they're trying to be. Even the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, I know a lot of people hate that, but it's a good representation of that character from the movie. I don't have any complaints with it, except a few articulation qualms in the hands, of course, the hands. Even something like the Transformers Legacy animated figures. Those figures take some creative liberties with the design, but overall I think they stay very faithful to the characters and the design. Clearly, all these companies put a lot of effort and love into their creations. Thank you guys for an amazing 2023. I reached 1,000 subscribers in 2023. I didn't even know I was going to. I reached almost 2,000 subscribers in 2023. I didn't even know I was going to. And it's just been a really crazy year. So thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. And hope you had a very good Christmas. And have a happy New Year. Peace, y'all.
Oh, I kind of want to die.